people are more apt to do that. And you know, and also at concerts, like tonight, you see we sell a load of CDs at concerts because lots of people had a Hermits record in another century,
Right.
in another format that they don't have any way to play it. So they go, well, I used to have these. I'm going to go and buy it, and they buy a CD, and the CDs are pretty obvious. You know, they got the greatest hits.
Yeah.
You know, and in Canada, it's like a double CD, and it's good value. You know, you can't buy it in a store.
There you go.
If you buy one in a gas station, like people do in Canada, they're usually fake.
Usually fake. What do you mean by that?
They're not
like
the real
red.
band.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're usually sort of remakes by, you know, whoever.
Speaking of which, did you not kind of make a fake then, in a way, of one of the songs for the Naked Gun movie?
Yes, I had to. You know, the people who own the original asked for $1 million, so the people had already used it in the movie. So they said to me, so I said, oh, that's really a shame, because they were fans of Herman Hermits, the two producers. And I said, well, why don't we just cut it again? And they looked at me, you know, I think I was like 45. Well, will you be able to sing it?
You're
like
not 16
that?
anymore.
Yeah, well, let's have a go. And we did it, and it was very good. And then we were afraid that the people who owned it would think we were using the real one. So we had to put that sort of dodgy Moog synthesizer guitar solo. So that it wouldn't sound like the real one, because it was really close. It was a great, great recording, I thought.
I don't know if you want to talk about this. I've talked to a lot of people about it, like Bo Diddley and stuff, and you mentioned the dodgy people, Alan Klein being the main one, basically. Did you make out all right at the end of the day?
Yeah, you know, I'm one of the odd ones. I made out really well, because I think if somebody, say Alan Klein, who was a scumbag and a thief, I mean, he's famous for being,
of course,
stole money from Biafra.
From everyone.
Concert for Biafra. You don't want that money.
No.
That is bad karma. So,
he'll get his.
But I think he got his already.
Okay.
There's a lot of people dancing at his graveyard.
Okay.
That's an Irish joke. But in my case, you know, and I did know Bo and all those people. My argument always was, but if somebody had come to me when I was 15 and offered me this career, this kind of career that would go on for 46 years, 50, whatever it is, and you would do all this stuff and get to travel the world and stay in hotels and meet people, and I said I would have probably asked, can I put some of the payments on my credit card and stretch it out a little bit? You know, most people would pay for my career. So I'm a grateful sort of survivor of that whole thing, because if I wasted any time thinking about that, I would be really in bad shape. I'd be one of those, and I'm not one of those. You know, I've got to get on with it. I think that the next record I make, which I'm not even planning to make one, should be the one that I really give a shit about, you know.
Really? So you mentioned a record, though, so it's got to be somewhere in your mind.
There's a chance that, you know, my audience would buy. What I did on my website was I did a little test, because you don't know. So I said, if I recorded this song, I'll Never Dance Again, which we do in the live show, but it's not really available recorded. Because when Herman Hermits recorded it, we forgot one of the verses, and it's like an important verse.
Okay.
So the story doesn't work without that verse.
Right.
So we do it on stage. Look, here's the song with the real, so you can work out the story. And it's very popular. And then people wanted to, so I said on my website, I did a test, I have a little poll thing. And I said, if I re-recorded I'll Never Dance Again, this song, and I made it available only as a download, 2 questions. Do you know how to download songs? And 2, would you? And 80% of the people answered, in the thousands, that they do know how to download a song. But 3 years ago, it would have been only 2%.
Yeah.
Only 3, it's quickly moved, you know. So now, me and the band are putting together a new version of I'll Never Dance Again. It's really just a question of finding time between concerts to go in the studio and sing it really well.
You wouldn't do it? You wouldn't just take a live take?
They don't want a live take.
They want a studio.
Yeah.
Put
The studio has, yeah. You know, there's a little bit more thought to it. You know, you know what's happened, there's hundreds of versions of it live on YouTube. If you want that version, just go to YouTube. The brilliant thing about YouTube is that I go and harass the band. Look, what were you doing? What's this? It's the wrong note. You're singing wrong. What are you jumping around here for? Do you need to be concentrating on the guitar solo, not kicking? And, you know, it's just fun stuff, you know.
It was fun for me to go on YouTube today and watch some old videos of you guys playing. And I didn't know you did For Your Love and Bus Stop and all these songs that other bands...
Well, we did them first. You know, what happened with those, especially those 2 songs, was Graham Gouldman wrote them for us. But they just didn't work out in the studio. If you listen to them, they didn't work. We play them better than anybody now, but at the time,
When you say we, I mean rock and roll folklore is you had your band. I mean, Lex a great guitar player,
Right.
but Page played on most songs. Jean Paul Jones played on most
Well,
songs.
no, we do. The songs that didn't work out, strangely enough, are probably the original guys, Carl Keith and Barry and Leck. Like Bus Stop and For Your Love. And what we would do, we would try things out, and if they didn't work, they'd become album tracks. And sometimes there was an opportunity like Silhouettes, where we knew that we couldn't play that really well, so then we would use session men. By the time we got them on stage, we played them better than the session men. Do you understand the difference?
Of course.
But it was a question of speed. You know, in those days, we would say like, Wonderful World, Jimmy Page plays on. So you'd say, we got to get this record out on Friday. This is Monday. You know, Sam Cooke has been murdered, killed in Los Angeles, and we want to get a record out. We did Wonderful World, and the Animals did Bring It On Home to Me. We didn't play on the record because it was quick and good thinking to get the best players in the world and get it done quickly.
It doesn't happen anymore, though. Like, it boggles my mind that you can get things at the click of a button now, but records take months to come out, whereas back in the day, you recorded Tuesday, it's out Friday.
Yeah, but that's what happened to the record business. But I think what happened is, in this odd way, because we didn't have a plan, it made it very fresh. And a lot of people didn't have a plan. You know, we were kind of independent at the time. The Stones were independent, the Beatles were independent, and Herman's Hermits were independent. You know, we didn't have to ask the label what they think. Because I think about it in retrospect, if we'd have offered Henry VIII to the label, they would say, I think you should go home and write a second verse and put some strings in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And have a real ending. So labels eventually got involved in the final production. And it should always be the music. It's like, if you were a painter and you finished a painting and then somebody came and like added a few touches to it and then put it in the gallery, it would be hard, wouldn't it? You know what I mean? So that's what's happened to the record business. There's too many people get to what you think is the end product and then mess with it or promote it in a way that you don't want. It's happened to me, you know, that something that you have an idea and then they promote it in a completely different way. You know, it's lost all the fresh thing. The freshest thing now is like American Idol and stuff like that, where people have an opportunity to fail in front of a lot of people.
You had a chance to take part in that too.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed hanging out with people. The people who are on American Idol have more experience than they play. You know, they were usually in a band or they've played a lot of nightclubs and things like that. So they're all much more able to. It's not their first time out there, if you know what I mean. You can tell the difference. So that's what I think. I mean, American Idol is probably, in England, it killed the record business forever, because if whoever wins it doesn't even sell any records, it ultimately goes there. You know, that it's just, okay, they won American Idol. That doesn't mean I have to buy their record.
Yeah.
They were the best out of the 26 people, but you know what happens is people are singing in a karaoke bar. And people say, you should be on American Idol or Canadian Idol, whatever, you should be on American Idol. And they show up for the audition. Well, that isn't part of the process of being a musician. Part of the process is to go and fail, not in a karaoke bar, but with your own musicians and try a couple of songs on your own without a pre-prepared Kyoto track.
I know they're starting stuff over here, but I got a couple of names for you that I just wouldn't mind getting some quick thoughts on the people you've met over the years kind of thing. And let's start with Derek Leckenby.